And there's the record.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. So,
What's happening?
did you go on the mastermind last night?
I did.
Did you? How was it? Good?
It was good. We have new faces, which is
Good.
awesome. I yeah, it was good. I promoted our book because Mary was like, "What's your book?" So I put the link in the chat.
That's right. We have a Zoom with her this afternoon, don't we?
Yes. What I haven't received
I didn't
anything.
get a link either yet,
Yeah.
so maybe we
Um,
don't.
yeah, I've been on the lookout for that. But I'm also gonna go to the mastermind, the M30 this evening at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Um, hey Bill, you need to do the broadcasting voice, reporting live from.
The 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 Paul McKenna voice.
Yeah.
Ah, so how was yesterday?
Yesterday was magnificent. Um, I got I got things done. I recorded a meditation from the chapter in The Science of Being Great, and I just kind of reworded it. I used my Chat GPT friend to kind of bring it to today's language. And then I asked it to create a script from the meditation. So, not to take anything away from the meditation, just bring it up to date, create a script, include the pauses that I would need to create when I'm recording it in my own voice, so that then I can use that as a meditation. And with the pauses in between, I've made a 10-minute meditation with my voice telling me what to do, breathe, and all this amazing stuff. And let me tell you something, it's quite invigorating is the wrong word, but that's the only thing that came to mind. To hear my own voice essentially it's hearing it differently because I hear my own dialogue in my own head, but to hear my own voice, it's interesting. It's easy.
When you believe it. So you recognize it, your voice.
Yes, and I enjoy that. And so for 10 minutes, I'm sitting on my couch or wherever I'm at, and I'm just following the prompts, breathing and the affirmations, and it feels really good. It feels really good.
See, I've been a proponent of when somebody writes their script that they record it in their own voice as
Mhm.
well, because it just and then you can actually fall asleep to it if you want, because you're still going to hear it.
Yeah.
Like last night, I fell asleep listening to Florence Shen. Uh,
Mm,
you know, so I mean, you can fall asleep to the TV and you'd be your own worst enemy.
yeah.
Uh, Music's not a bad thing to fall asleep as long as it's good music,
Right.
inspirational music. But why not fall asleep to something that your subconscious mind or your unconscious mind can keep recording for you that's going to be of assistance? So, like your meditation is a fantastic thing. A recording of a script is a fantastic thing. The thing with the script is usually they get longer than 10 minutes. And that's why I kind of like your idea of your own little meditation of what is specific to you. And it's similar to a script. It's just giving you, basically, if I'm hearing this right, it's affirmations based on your script. Okay, so I'm hearing that right because you're shaking your head. Okay.
Yes, sir. I forgot to use my words. What I did, I'll use my handy dandy cellular device, just so that I can kind of give you an idea of my meditation and how it, there we go. It's called Mind Body Meditation. So it's a script written out where I'm actually telling myself, find a quiet place, comfortable. Anyways, you know what I mean. And then it prompts me because I asked it to give me a prompt for the pause in between each thing so that I'm not find a quiet, comfortable place, lie down, close your eyes. There's pauses in between each one. So when I'm recording it, which is what I did, and I have to re-record it because my phone, I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. So I received a couple of text messages and that threw things off. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's reality, but I don't want that interruption when I'm in a meditative state because it quickly takes me out and I have to quickly get in. And if I can't get back in, it messes it up. So I need the flow to be just fluent, but just the pausing and even waiting, like when I'm telling myself to close my eyes and take a deep breath, hold it for a moment, and now exhale slowly. So it's like any other meditation, any guided meditation that I've listened to, others where they're talking slowly and they're giving you the time to take those. Now do it two more times and you pause for the allotted two more times. And since I'm going through this process myself while I'm recording, it makes it easier. And so at first it was like 7 minutes because I was kind of just walking through it. And then when I added those pauses in, and that's when I got Chat GPT involved, because when we use the tools that we have available to us, we can do a lot of great things, y'all. Um, and so this for me is really incredible because I'm in essence now hearing my voice. And I'm not just hearing my mental chatter or the other word that I had said earlier that I have completely forgot just now. But in any case, I'm now,
Said your mental dialogue.
thank you. It came right as you were saying it. So instead of hearing my mental dialogue, I'm actually hearing my voice. And I find my voice quite soothing, actually, for
Well,
myself.
and what you're doing is, believe it or not, is you're self-hypnotizing yourself. That's all a guided meditation really is. It's a tool to talk to your subconscious or unconscious mind and then reinforce the things that you want in there. So those are the things that you think about more often. And you
Mhm.
can actually, in those meditations, if you wanted to, you could put little anchors in there. Like right now, we had done something before about your purple suit. Anytime you think about the
Mhm.
purple suit, you think about getting that's an anchor. You can do things like rubbing your fingers together. So during the day, when you rub your fingers together, all of a sudden, the dialogue of your meditation will come to mind,
Mhm.
similar to how Mind Movies does. If you hear a particular thing, all of a sudden you think of your Mind movie. And those are just anchors. So we're hypnotizing ourselves by listening to our scripts or listening to our um, meditation, as you put it. And the whole reason for all that breathing in the beginning is just to put you in the most relaxed state possible, because when you're in a relaxed state, you're more susceptible to what you're saying.
Right.
So
It feels good. It feels good. I feel I've been extremely productive. Um, One, I just m m making every day a deliberate intention to have a good day. Like as soon as I open up my eyes and I'm awake, the first thing I just say to myself is today is a good day. I've made that my
I'm
morning first words of the day.
I'm laughing because I just before I came on here posted on Facebook, what is your intention for today?
Wow,
What
I
is your
love that.
intention for 2025? Uh, why is it why do we need an intention? And then I just put comment below.
Hmm.
Uh, and then on my little piece of paper of things that I wrote this morning coming out of my meditation was I have the word intention
Mm,
circled to do a little 10-minute video today or something on Zoom and post it on Facebook or post it on the YouTube channel about intention. Along with I have a couple other things written on here too. I have uh, probably opening my calendar on Thursday since I don't have on Thursdays right now is a pretty good day for me as far as well, every day is a good day, but I mean availability
Right.
without something happening in the middle of the day. Like today, I have from 11 to 12:30. I hypnotherapy, and then we have our 3 o'clock supposedly. So there's only a couple hours in between of me time where where I'm watching videos and stuff that they're trying to progress my education. So I'm thinking, and then on Thursdays I only have one regular meeting, and that's at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Mm.
So I'm thinking about opening my calendar from like 10 to 4, um, starting after the party for individuals that just want to have a discussion about anything for 30 minutes or something. I'm not going to open it up for an hour um, for each person because 30 minutes will probably end up being an hour to begin with. So and just see what they want to talk about and see what the things are, see what questions I can answer, things of that nature. I was also thinking of it in a different sense of maybe posting something that said, you know, if you have questions, ask them and I'll answer them on Zoom or I'll answer them on a recording or something for anybody that has a question they want answered about a particular subject, like intentions or something. I've seen that done with other people. And of course, their audiences are much bigger. So they get a lot of different questions. But then I noticed the questions, 90% of them aren't about the subject they want you to ask questions about. It's about any and every little thing. And some of the questions are just questions that can't be answered
Mhm.
because of one thing, because of the way they're worded. And two, because the person that's answering the question doesn't really have a grasp on the material that the law of attraction material, you know, like, you know, how can I manifest my nose to be 2 inches bigger on the right and 1 inch left, smaller on the left or something? That'll be the kind of question they'll ask. It makes no sense. Um, and I just made that up because I want a nose that's bigger. No, I almost bought a clown nose yesterday.
Oh, dang, I had one of those red noses.
That's what I almost bought yesterday. But then I thought, no.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
I know. I just didn't feel like it. It didn't feel right.
There you go. See, if it doesn't feel right, it just doesn't feel right.
There you
Hey,
go.
listen, y'all. There we go. It's easy when you believe it. So when we're on these calls, and I think that in order for uh, people to really understand the the concepts, the ideas, the imaginations that Bill and I are trying to um, I don't know, bring home to everyone is that when you choose to feel good and be in a good state of mind, whatever that may be for you, things are easy and they show up. And that was part of the discussion on the final chapter of You Were Born Rich with Bob Proctor. And it was just talking about mindset. And I talked about my specific experience not so long ago that I was kind of in a state of stuckness, and because I felt stuck, I was doubting myself, and because I was doubting myself, I was afraid to make certain changes in my life that seemed really scary, and one of those was to leave my investor because I it had run its course, and I felt that it was time for me to move forward with my dreams. And when I was in a negative state of mind, I was feeling quite miserable, and I was putting up a front, you know, smiling when I really just didn't feel like smiling because in my personal little world, it just felt like things were just not working out. And because I was thinking about how my life just wasn't where I wanted it to be, more things that seemed unrelated, like just, the weather would irritate me if it was raining or if it was too cold or too hot or literally anything. The dog barked too much. Just things begin to irritate you when you're in the wrong state of mind. Everything that you think is wrong in your life, you find more wrong things to be in your life, whatever that is. And so, as soon as I made a decision and I changed my mind and started to think differently and started to um, feel more hopeful and feel more at ease and feel more connected to my desires and what I really wanted, things started to change. And it's just been an upward spiral. Can spirals go up? Spirals
You
can
can
go
go
anywhere.
spiral down, you can go spiral up,
Yeah, you can spiral
spiral
sideways.
like a rocket up. Yeah. Well, it all comes down to mindset. It really does. Even if somebody never mentions the word self-image or mindset to somebody, it's all about that. If
Right.
you don't have the right self-image of yourself, and that's why they do that self-image script, or you don't have the right mindset, it's the same thing. Uh, your your odds of deliberately creating are very slim because you're
Right.
going to continue to use your word spiral in the direction of whatever your thoughts are. So if your thoughts are negative, if your thoughts are not concurrent with the things that you desire, then well, guess what? You're going to get what you're thinking about, not what you desire. So yeah,
Definitely.
mindset.
Mindset is a big thing in life.
Well, anytime that you get on a one of these Zoom calls with anybody where you're doing a discussion, it's all about how you're thinking and it's all about the mindset and changing your mindset. Bob Proctor, that's what he's talking about, changing your mindset about money, whether, particular money or whether it be that you're rich already because of other things, your story. I think you
Mhm.
posted something about your story. I know we were talking about it a couple days ago. You have to change your story. When you change your story, you change your mindset. It's not like you just say, I changed my mind.
Right.
It's not necessary. It's that easy, but it's not necessarily that easy because
Correct.
we're human.
Right. It's really as easy as you make it.
As easy as you believe it.
I like that, Bill. I
It,
like
well,
it.
it is. If you really believe that your mindset and your thoughts are what's creating your reality, we're living today because of what we thought yesterday,
Yes.
So if your thoughts yesterday were it's too damn cold today, it's too that doesn't mean today's going to be cold. That just means you're going to be miserable today
Right.
for some other reason. See, people seem to think that if I think I don't, like we'll use that for an example, that it's too cold today, that I'm going to create it's too cold tomorrow. No,
Right.
you're just going to manifest something else that's not going to go your way, that's going to be negative to you, which might be positive to me or neutral to me.
Right.
99% of the thing, well, 99, where did I come up with that? Boom. So many of the things that happen in a day are neutral, you know.
Very true.
You know, so I concentrate as much as I can to um, spend time with the positive things so that I create more of those than there are neutral or negative.
True, true. And a perfect example of that is my daughter texted me this morning and she says the weather is not very good today. And so it's raining pretty heavy over here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Um, and I mean, it's gloomy looking. I love the rain and it's warmer. It's 64 degrees now today and it was like 32 just a few days ago. So this is North Carolina weather. But in any case, I said to her, well, at least you don't have to work outside. You don't have to walk outside. You work on the inside. And so I just automatically, I didn't say, well, you shouldn't think that way or you shouldn't say that. I just simply said, you don't have, I just saw the good in the weather, in the situation. Um, and I remember back in 2016 when I was walking every single day I went. I kid you not, this is not an exaggeration. Rain, it didn't matter the weather of any kind. I walked in it. I was prepared. If I got soaked, I enjoyed it. Usually, if you're soaked in the summer, it's better than if you're soaked in the winter because that chill can get to your bones. Um, but now I not that I couldn't get up this morning and walk. I just chose not to walk this morning because the rain was coming down pretty heavy. And I didn't realize how warm it was until I got up and I was like, ooh, it feels warm in the house because it's like 63 degrees at night here. I, I, I only like to sleep in the cold. Sleeping in heat is just not my friend. But I digress. So back to you know, perspective and your mindset um, affects how you view your day, how you view your life. And so a rainy day can be a magical thing for one person and a messy, miserable one for someone else. I choose to look at the positive.
Well, and I was talking, you were talking about the magical word of intention just a few minutes ago. If you're intending your day, if you're intending your life, that is so beneficial to changing the mindset, the negative mindset that you have into a positive mindset. So if you're intending to have a wonderful, beautiful day, it doesn't matter if it rains.
True.
It doesn't matter if it's too cold or too hot because you're intending to have a wonderful, beautiful day. You're intending to have a drive to the grocery store without any traffic or any you know garbage happening to you. Well, it could be the same traffic that yesterday would have ticked you off, but today, because you intended it not to be a detriment to you, it's just there. Maybe the
Right.
music is now louder in your car and it sounds better, and you're just enjoying sitting at the red light because now you get to hear the rest of this song before you have to go into the grocery store or something. You can look at it in any way you want, but why
Mhm.
not look at it in the way that's going to make you feel better?
Yep.
And that's what intending is. They're small. They can be big goals too. I mean, intention and goal, they're basically the same, except I use the word goal when I'm thinking of like larger things. And when
Mhm.
I think of intentions, I'm thinking about more things that are closer, things that are happening sooner, things of that nature, things. And it's when I set an intention, people, we're coming up to New Year's.
Mhm.
And people are going to do their New Year's resolutions that
Right.
last 2 to 3 weeks. And some of them it doesn't even last a day. Why not in? Why do you need to wait till December 31st?
Right.
It makes no sense to me. Why not intend every day? And if you have a goal, a desire that's bigger, an intention that is bigger, why do you wait until it's coming before you start getting seriously about intending it when now you have resistance to the fact that you don't necessarily 100% believe that it's a possibility. If you
Right.
wait too long, then all of a sudden you've got resistance. So if you're intending to have 100 people at your imagination party, why should you wait until the last week to do it? You should have waited. You should have started, and I'm talking about me now. I
Mhm.
should have started this the first time we dreamed about an imagination party. And so I'll continue to intend 100 people at our imagination party, whether it's this month, next month, the following month, it doesn't matter. That's going to be my intention so that I don't have any resistance. So I'll put it out a little bit in the future. If I intend to be a millionaire, do I really believe I could be a millionaire by December 31st? I'm not going to intend that today, So maybe I'll intend, you know, by March of next year, I'm making a particular amount of money that's a more believable intention, so I have less resistance, and then I just keep growing it and growing it and growing it. If I intend to lose 40 pounds by April, do I really believe I could do that? And I'm talking generically now because I don't
Right.
really want to lose 40 pounds, maybe 20. Um, but if I want to lose 40 pounds, do I really believe it? Probably not. I'd be looking at my scale every day and I'd see the same weight and I'd be thinking, this stuff ain't working, you know? Why am I doing this? So why not intend something that's actually non-resistant to you? And then when you get there, as you start getting there and your belief is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, you start intending more and more and more of that same thing that I'm talking about. Like if it was 40 pounds, intend to lose 5 pounds. See yourself in the future 5 pounds lighter. Put on the scale a piece of paper that leads um, silences or, it shuts out the other number that comes up. I don't know, blocks it. It blocks,
Right.
put something on there, the weight that's 5 pounds lighter, so that when you look on it, your mind sees that. And so you want to weigh, 200 pounds, you want to weigh 195 and you weigh, well, how am I going to say that? You want to weigh 150 pounds and you weigh 190. Why not right now put 185 on the scale? Because your mind says, well, you lost 5 pounds. You lost 5 pounds instead of 190. I'm still 190. You know, God, I'm going to go have a milkshake because this stuff ain't working.
For me,
All about that inside your
exactly. For me, intention is about doing things on purpose.
deliberate.
Yes.
Mhm.
Deliberately, purposefully. When you're doing things deliberately,
You're making a decision.
exactly. And so it becomes easier to then um, manifest and see your dreams realize and come into your present life experience. And so if you are if you do have those goals of making $1 million, so anything is possible. And so for me, I used to operate in it's more believable for me to make 80 grand a year than it is to make 200 grand a year. So I'm just going to stick to the 80 grand because 80 grand seems safe since I'm only making, this is as an example, since I'm only making 29 a year. 80 grand 80 grand seems achievable. Now for somebody they'll say I'm making 29, I can see myself making $10,000 more a year, and it's just really in what what you're willing to do to feel uncomfortable so that then when that discomfort, which is at the beginning, if you have a goal of making a certain amount of money, but you have some resistance or some limiting beliefs within yourself that, well, I don't have a degree, so therefore, we're going to take out the 80 grand because anyone with a degree, they're making 80 or above. This could be a perception that you have. Or I don't have the same skills as someone else, or I'm, not the right height, I'm not this, I'm not that. So you begin to give these excuses. And when you acknowledge that those resistance points, those limiting beliefs that you have within you, you begin to say, well, I know that at one point I wasn't making any money and I'm making 29. So let's just start there. And you're making 29. Well, what did I do? What was my mindset? What was I doing? What was I thinking? What was I saying that got me from point A to point B? And I want to get all the way to point Z, which is the ultimate goal, and then beyond, because sometimes we limit ourselves to what we're able to accomplish, the time that we can accomplish things in. And, I can give a personal story. I didn't think that I myself could write a book in 2 weeks. Yet I was able to do that with you, Bill, and we were able to get something done. We were talking about it, and then for 2 weeks we put our heads to the ground and we did it, and we were able to write it, and then um,
We set a believable intention and we accomplished it. We
yes.
made a decision. We did it. And when it comes to money, we have a thermostat, a wealth thermostat. And I like that because I've heard that from other people. I didn't come up with that terminology. But
Hmm.
I like it because it's something that you can actually see in your mind, whether your thermostat has a lever that goes up and down or whether it has a knob, whatever in your house, you know what a thermostat is. So you know that you can set it at like you said for your house, 63 degrees,
Hmm.
or you can set it at 73 degrees and it's up to us. So we have a wealth thermostat. So let's say we're making 40 grand a year and all of a sudden you get a promotion and now they're saying you're going to make $60,000 a year.
Hmm.
If you don't change your mindset, if you don't change the way you look at money and think about money, $60,000 is still going to be $40,000 in your world because you're
Right.
still going to probably have this, you're going to have the same bills. You're still going to be living paycheck from paycheck because your mindset is in such a way that it doesn't matter. And more than likely, you're going to end up with extra bills and things to take up the $20,000 because that's where your mindset is. So in that year. And
Yeah.
then you're going to quit the job because you hate the job because the job isn't paying you enough, and you're going to go back and start working for $40,000 again, and you're going to have the same payday to payday to payday. You have to change the mindset if you want to really, really be wealthy rich when it comes to money. You have to change your mindset.
Correct. And Bill, to your point of you're making 40, you get a promotion, and then you're making 60, and you still think that that 60 is the 40. Well, I just want to elaborate on that a little bit because how that's possible is you're making 60, and that's like $20,000 more a year. You take the taxes away from that, then you have your real amount. However, because you have the mindset, well, this is not, I'm still not making more than I should. The universe responds in kind and says, okay, well, here's a car breakdown. Here is a nice bill if you own a house that you have to now fix something or something happens, you have to go to the doctor and they're like, oh, by the way, the bill is $2,000. And then that additional 20 grand that you just made, well, of course, it's not going to mean anything because you said, this I'm still where I was. I haven't changed anything. But if you
And your
have a
wish is my command.
exactly. I mean, and so if you get a promotion and you're making 60 grand, for some people that's a lot of money. A lot of money. I will tell you for me, when I went from an assistant manager position to a property manager position, there was a nice increase. And for me, I felt rich from what I was making as an assistant manager to then what I was making as a manager. And I was like, oh my gosh, the things I could do. I can go on more vacations to Florida. I can do this, I can do that, and I can still save for buying a house and doing this and doing that. And that was my mindset. As soon as that changed, as soon as I changed my mind about the money, the increase that I was receiving, then my car would need unexpected repairs that would cost, a couple of grand. And I'd be like, well, what am I making? I'm not even making any more money. So this is like real life. The example was just an example, but I can speak to the fact that when I got a raise, I thought I was rich. I acted like I was rich. I felt like I was rich, and I thought about all the things that rich people do. Now, someone may think that 60 grand, or any amount of increase is not being rich. I felt rich. I felt rich enough for me to do and think and feel and imagine all the magnificent things that I could do. And I just kept getting more and more opportunities came up. It's when I switched or change my mindset to something that was not working for me but against me, that then I began to see the contradiction in my own way of thinking. And so when you shift and you move things around in your mind and you decide, hey, everything is always working out for me, things feel good, it's easy for things to show up in my mind. And I listen to Abraham every morning. Everything is working out, or it's a good morning. And so at towards the end, I had this in my head because I was repeating it, and now it's just I'm trying to pull it out from the back. But essentially, if I run into obstacles, I will trust in my guidance system to bring me back because it's always working perfectly. So obstacles are going to come in some way, shape, or form. And it's how we adjust our direction, how we adjust the wheel, how we adjust the thermostat to match the things that we want, right? And the things that we believe are already ours. And so when we make those adjustments, even when the obstacles come and you choose to feel good no matter what, the possibilities are infinite.
Yeah, and then they don't really you don't necessarily classify them as an obstacle anymore.
Correct.
You know, it might be challenging, but because you know everything is already going to work out, you know everything always works out. You go about your day differently. You
Mm-hmm.
intend your day differently, and that doesn't become the focus. So the rest of your day doesn't get screwed up, or the rest of your week, or the rest of your year, whatever. And yeah, you have to deal with the obstacle, you have to deal with the challenge, whatever you want to call it. But it's so much easier when you really know, when you really believe that it's easy and that everything is always going to work out. I mean, and I think it's Abraham, all is well. I think that was the first time I ever heard that expression. I was listening to her talk to, she had somebody in the hot seat,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Well, how do you feel now?" And or something like that. He says, "All is well. All is well." And I thought, wow, that is so cool. And then I realized that they'd been saying that all along. I had just never really let it sink in. And it was the way he said it, that the guy who was in the hot seat that time.
Mm-hmm.
All is well. And then he repeated it. All is well with almost a lower hypnotic voice. And it sunk in. And it's been, you know, you can't lose that thought in your mind once it sinks in. But how
Right.
many of us have walked around thinking we every not necessarily thinking everything's going to work out, but thinking that we are on a different plane, a different vibrational state, and something happens, and we forget about all is well. The guy with the fingers that worked real well the other day. He he didn't think all was well. So I mean, it's when you do this stuff and you continue to do it and do it and do it, they become habits, and you don't even think about it anymore. So something happens, you don't think all is well.
Mm-hmm.
Because you already know it,
No, yep.
so
And I think that's the difference in belief and knowing. A belief leads to knowing, in my opinion. You can believe something for a time and not know that it's already there for you, or that you're know that you will achieve that goal, that success, that relationship, that environment, whatever that may be for you. But when the belief, for me, I believe, leads to the knowing beyond the shadow of a doubt that everything is mine, everything is always well, everything is always working out for me. And so you don't really notice those challenges because, like you said, you just see them as opportunities. Sometimes things don't work out the way we want them because there's a better way that things are meant to be for you. And so when you're very self-aware and you make it a point to be just very conscious about the decisions you make, then things just happen. New opportunities come towards you. And so it's an amazing experience.
See, for me, belief and knowing, and I don't know what Webster thinks. I'd have to look Webster up and see what he says, but believing and knowing are the same for me. But
Mhm.
knowing has more meaning or more a different feeling than believing for some reason. And that only really happened for me in the last 6 months or so. The word belief was always the word I used. I always used the word belief. We use the word belief in our book.
Mhm.
Um, but knowing just has a different feeling when you think about it, for me. So
Mhm.
now I use the word knowing a lot, even though the definitions are the same. So however it vibes for you,
Exactly.
is what it is. But knowing, just like I said, it gives me like goosebumps.
Mhm.
You know.
And that's the good thing about this is that you and I have two different viewpoints. Bill isn't wrong. I'm not wrong. It's just what I feel, what feels good to me, what I understand, my own perception. And so I don't think that Bill's thought process and his belief and his knowing is incorrect. That's what feels good to you. And so that's the good thing about having these conversations is that you get to be yourself however it feels good to you. And for me, I know that I'm not saying to anyone, hey, believe like I believe so that you can experience what I experience. Because what works for me is not going to work for you. And so you have to find what feels good to you. You have to find the things that resonate with you, that inspire you, excite you to just go on about your day and know and believe that everything is always working out for you. And so, if you find a book, a poem, a show, a video, a song that just really resonates high and that brings you to a higher state of vibration, do that thing. If writing down in your journal, writing poems, writing creative works that just inspire you, do that if that's what inspires you. I'm definitely not saying do what I do. I'm saying that the mindset has to be something that feels good to you and that is helping you to expand and grow.
Yeah, I think I can give a pretty good, not a personal example, just an example of something here. How many people, myself included, in the past has said I can't visualize. I know, or I'm not very good at visualizing. I don't really see. You and I have a different, a whole different world on how we visualize. You see pictures easily,
Mhm.
and for me, pictures are not as colorful, or in fact, very little color.
Mhm.
They're not as vivid for me. Part of that reason is my mindset. Part of that is because I've told myself ever since I started doing, self development, that creative visualization was not something that was easy for me. It's not something I do well. The more I told myself, the more my subconscious and unconscious mind believes that. So that's part of my mindset that I have been changing progressively as I went along, and it's getting better and better and better. So, if I were talking to somebody right now and they were telling me I can't visualize, first of all, I know they're wrong because they just said a sentence. And you can't say a sentence without visualizing, really, because we see our words in pictures, even though we don't know it. Science
Right.
has proven that. So, would I look at them and say, "No, you can visualize." No, write it down.
Mhm.
If you've convinced yourself that visualization is something that you are not able to do, and you're trying to get in this high vibe and you're trying to live the life of your dreams, and everybody's telling you got to visualize, you got to visualize, you got to visualize, visualize it in writing, because as you're writing it, you are visualizing it in your subconscious and your unconscious mind. So
Mhm.
there are different ways to get from A to B to C all the way to Z than necessarily the way one person is saying it. So, and maybe writing isn't it for you either. Maybe it's recording it.
Mhm.
Maybe you're going to record it like you did your meditation. I mean, find the way that makes you feel good instead of
Definitely.
sitting in a chair or sitting with your legs cross-legged or whatever because and thinking, "Ah, this doesn't feel good. This sucks, you know." No, what get your what good is doing that kind of stuff if you're really trying to achieve a high vibration? Sitting there thinking this doesn't work. I don't like this. I can't do this. I want blah, 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 blah. You know,
Yep.
your wish is my command. You know, talking about something important, I looked on Amazon for a good Aladdin lamp. I just couldn't find one I liked
Mm.
because I was going to rub it over and over as we were at the imagination party.
That would be fun. I was telling Art last night, I was like, your purple genie lamp. I really want one of those now.
Art hasn't signed up for our imagination party yet.
Yeah, what's
I
going
don't even know if
on?
he knows about it because we have not posted it on the sites that he's not on my friends list that I know of, you know,
Uh,
possibly, but I don't know. I did change the name of our other Facebook, the group. I changed it to The Dream and the Journey yesterday, and then I made a invite page. I don't know if you saw that yet
yes.
for our party.
Hmm.
And then I invited like 150 people yesterday out of my list. A lot of them I didn't invite. I could have just invited everybody. You know, you can hit, I think, invite
Yeah.
all. But some of them I wanted to be respectful to
Hmm.
the fact that I know that this isn't their forte.
Right.
So I went through, and did it.
Definitely. Life is great. I feel good.
See that there, that wasn't a pause for cause. That was a pause because we ran out of things to say right on 59 minutes. Actually, we started a little late today because we were having technical difficulties on both ends.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw your screen this morning and it was green because that was exactly how mine was. And I
I was
couldn't
like,
figure
what
it
is
out. And all
happening?
of, how you have all the virtual backgrounds that you save.
Hmm.
All of them were gone.
They just disappeared.
It just disappeared. So what did I do? No, I didn't. First, I didn't do anything. All of a sudden on my screen, it popped up for me to sign in again. I
Yeah,
signed
it does that
in
from time to
and then it
time.
worked. And then it worked.
Yeah, it happens. My new laptop is just stuck in a state of the same screen. That's no bueno, as my daughter would say, no bueno. So everything's okay. I'm just, I'm not allowing that to like, I had another one, so I was able to get back on. I had to switch laptops, and here we are, y'all.
See, all is well. And look how rich we are.
We
Even if
are.
you had not had the other laptop, you could have come on with your phone,
Exactly.
something. There's so many things to be grateful for. And gratitude. I mean, top of the list of things that we need to keep focused on in our life. Make an
Yes.
intention to be grateful today for everything you can't be, you can, but being grateful for everything in your life would probably keep you from doing everything else you need to do because there's so much. So be grateful for at least 50 things today in your life. Okay, be grateful. So,
Definitely. And if you can't find 50 and you can't find two, you can find one. And so I recommend if it feels good to you to record your voice and set an alarm that says, I am happy and grateful for, or now that, and then fill in the blank. And the alarm goes off at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m., which is my bedtime, y'all. And so when that goes off, I hear my voice and it says, I am so happy and grateful for, and I fill in the blank and I turn the alarm off. And whatever comes to mind first, I think. And if 20 other things come to mind, in my head, I'm saying it or I'm saying it out loud because there's power in that. And the more gratitude that you show for what you have, and the things even that maybe may not have manifested right now in this space, like, a stack of $100 bills on my desk hasn't hasn't materialized just yet. But, if I continue to practice gratitude, then the stacks of money will show up from many different sources. And so not only will I be able to experience life to the degree that I want to experience life, but I will have so much more to give to others. And for me, wanting to be, desiring to be, and knowing that I will be, and knowing that I am rich means that I can help more and more people. And so that's why I want to, not only because I want to be able to experience things like traveling to different parts of the world and seeing different sites. I also, for me, with more money specifically, I'm able to help more people. And that's the goal. So, my recommendation.
Well, and only one thing popped into my mind when you were saying that, other than, yeah, you can't be too grateful for, there's not enough things to be grateful for. I mean, really, we have so many. And the same thing happens when I think of something, it just starts snowballing.
Yep.
I mean, uh, and you know what? Sometimes that happens when I see something that I don't have that is a desire. And I think, and then all of a sudden it snaps. My mind will snap back to, well, I do have this, and I have
Yeah,
this, and I have this. I am so rich already. And eventually, if that's my real desire, I'll have that too. Uh,
definitely.
but I was thinking about how you said be so. I am so happy and grateful. Now that's a statement that I know Bob Proctor uses a lot in the beginning of his different things, affirmations and things that you write down. And I can remember after watching The Secret the first time and hearing him say that, I got so caught up in having to say it exactly the way he said it. And
Mhm.
because I wanted to have it just perfect, was screwing myself up basically because I was putting resistance into whatever I was trying to say. So for anybody that's brand new to, or that don't even need to be brand new, but anybody that's struggling with trying to be perfect, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be positive. You just have to be happy. You just have to be joyful in the way that you're wording this thing, and not wording your affirmations or your desires in a negative or resistant way.
Right.
So I'm so
Or
happy and grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to word it the way anybody else does it.
No,
It's just, for me, anything that people say is purely a guide, and I make it my own to what feels comfortable for me. Because there's a lot of phrases and things that people say that works really well for them, and other things. I've listened to a lot of motivational speakers, and a lot of things that they say and how they say just it doesn't resonate with me. So I make it my own so that it feels good to me, because that's what's important. So find what feels good to you, find what makes you excited, and just go with that. If
yeah,
it feels good, do it.
because we're perfect. We're perfect just the way we are. And so just because you left out the word happy when saying I am so happy and grateful doesn't mean that your affirmation is wrong or not going to
Correct.
work. You want it to feel good for you.
For
And
you.
so maybe none of those words feel good. Maybe
Correct.
it's just I am happy. I am,
Yep.
maybe it's thank you,
Yep.
whatever it is. So, okay,
Well, this
that's
has been a
it.
great session, even with the technical difficulties at the start. It's been great. Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome. Thank you. I got several things that I want to do today besides, I know I mention this pretty much every day. My hypnotherapy stuff, I'll be done in January, and I'll actually be
Wonderful.
certified to
I
mess
love
with
that.
people's minds. Uh,
And make
actually,
them eat chocolate chip cookies,
see,
huh?
yeah, but see, that's the thing, and why I love this so much is it made me realize everybody is a hypnotist. Every salesman is a hypnotist. Every time you're talking to somebody and you're trying to put your point of view across, you're a hypnotist. You're trying to change the way they see something.
Mhm.
So it's just, this is just a license to do it,
Yep.
and help people actually see, because it's not about me giving my, trying to put my thoughts and my point of views into their mind. It's about making sure that what's coming out of their mouth is something that they really want to come out, or their phobia is gone, or their smoking habit that they don't want. You can get rid of that, or whatever it is, or just feeling good on a stage in a purple suit.
I love it. I love it. So this is it.
Oh,
Yeah. Ah,
that's funny because I thought you were gonna put one of those what is it, those
the avatars.
yeah, avatars on there,
I thought about it. Let me see.
because you
Do I
had one that was purple, and yeah, I
blue?
see. I don't, is that the purple one?
It is purple. There's one of the
Mine's
purple
red.
ones. Yeah, I think it's maybe based on,
Ah,
there it is.
so why does
Purple.
yours have string and mine don't?
Well, because I have a choice. There's two of each.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
See? Now
Yeah,
look at that. We've changed.
yeah. All right.
I love it. We're having fun, y'all. Have an amazing rest of your day.
And don't
Um,
forget, we have our imagination party on December 14th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You need to register. It's all over the place. The registration link, it's on my Facebook page. It's on the Dream in the Journey Facebook group now. That's the new one instead of Your Vibrational Copilot. And it's also in the comment section or in the description section of all our videos on YouTube.
Fantastic. Everyone, enjoy your day. Make it a great one. And until the next time, toodaloo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.